Special Shabbos message for all of our children at the Jewish Center. We all know that we began the period that we call the 3 weeks, or in Hebrew, Bein HaMitzarim, between the fast that the adults had yesterday, the 17th of Tammuz, and Tisha B'Av, the saddest day of the year for us. Remember that the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, and the Jews in the desert were not allowed to go into the land of Israel, and the great city of Beitar was destroyed, and the Romans, they were so mean to us that even after they destroyed Yerushalayim, they made sure that we couldn't plant there. So we're in a sad time of the year, and we're reminded that our rabbis taught us that the reason that we're still not back in the land of Israel with the Beit HaMikdash is because we haven't treated each other appropriately. We haven't loved each other enough. We haven't been as careful as we should have been about the mitzvah of loving all of our fellow Jews, v'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, and instead, for really petty, small reasons, what the Gemara calls sinat chinam, we are still, unfortunately, not back to where we want to be. Which means that during this time of year, we have to pay unique attention to those mitzvot which have to do with how we treat each other, and especially how we speak about each other and how we include each other and make sure that nobody is left out. The Gemara tells an amazing story about people named Kamsa and Bar Kamsa. Somebody threw a big party and they meant to invite their friend Kamsa, but the invitations, they got mixed up, and instead Bar Kamsa was invited. Oh no, we got the wrong person. And Bar Kamsa wasn't supposed to be invited, so the host of this meal, get him out of here. And Bar Kamsa was so embarrassed, he didn't want to be thrown out of the party. And he said, I'll pay for what it is I'm eating, and then he offered to pay for half the meal and the whole meal, because he just didn't want to be embarrassed, but he got thrown out. There were a lot of rabbis there, the Gemara says, rabbis who needed to stand up and tell the host of this party, you're not allowed to embarrass somebody like this. Okay, so you didn't mean to invite him, but he showed up. You shouldn't embarrass him. And the rabbis were silent. They were quiet. They said nothing at all. And because the rabbis didn't say anything, everybody assumed. Midlo michu barabanan, the rabbis didn't protest. Kanicha lahu, that they must agree that it's okay to embarrass somebody in this way, and it's never okay to embarrass somebody in that way. We have to include people. In this week's Parsha, we learned that Yehoshua took over as the leader of the Jewish people after Moshe, and one of the main reasons why the Torah says is Isha Sheruach Bo, and Rashi explains that what that means is that he knew how to include, he knew how to relate to each and every member of the Jewish people, no matter how wise or not, how learned or not, and he was always able to include everyone. And this is a special characteristic. I want each and every one of you to be the child that the teacher or the counselor always says, they make sure to include everybody. They don't only play with their friends or the people that are most similar to them, but we should always remind ourselves, especially this time of year when we think about why the Beit HaMikdash is still destroyed, that we children have a big role to play in making sure that the Beit HaMikdash will be rebuilt. Because if we include everybody, unlike what was done to Bar Kamsa, if we make sure that everybody feels listened to, and that was Yehoshua's greatness, then we can lead our community back to where we need to go, and we can experience the full Geula, the full redemption, where we'll all be back in the land of Israel with the Beit HaMikdash. I wish all of our children a wonderful Shabbos, and I look forward to seeing you soon.